Hey y'all, it's your girl Alex, just dropping in real quick for quick drops for deep thoughts. We're going to be talking about how to start the process of changing your mindset. As we come into this ascension, we need to start getting our minds and our frequencies into a higher vibrating mindset so that we can actually start grasping on to the new reality, how things look and feel. They're going to be different, and it's a good different, but we need to start understanding how to be receptive to it and understand its existence, because if we're stuck in that dense 3D reality, our brains literally cannot comprehend. And if y'all are running into any resistance with people who may really be like deep asleep and just maybe just not having it, those are the people who are really going to be struggling the most with this ability to understand and compress all this information, or because it's all compressed, right? And comprehend it. That's the word I was trying to say, and it totally was not working for me. Anyways, so the first thing we need to start doing, though, is being aware when things are impacting us emotionally, right? A lot of times we get on to this point where we're just like automatically reacting emotionally. We're engaged. We're super, our nerve endings and everything is just really heightened, right? Because we've had so much stimulation without a break, right? And so it's so vital that we are able to bring ourselves into that more homeostasis state. And it's going to start with our brain. It's going to start with our thoughts and our cognitions. Can I get an amen about manifesting, healing, energetic healing, astral projection? Everything comes down to this beautiful organ between our ears, just our brains, y'all. Our brains and our mindset, and the way we are able to expand our consciousness, expand into that 5D ascended, 10D even. Like, that's my goal. I'm like, I ain't trying to do none of this 5D. Like, I want to go higher. I want to go into these deep dimensions where it's like, from what I have been understanding, I'm still learning, but where it's just like that density, the physical density is not as the same, which is why you really don't hear about being as hungry. I have not been very hungry lately. I don't know about anyone else. And just really just eating clean and just like really going deep, right? But it all comes back to our brain. So I want to challenge y'all to start either journaling. I always joke because I love my beautiful. Come here, my baby. I always have a journal, right, where I'm always writing and stuff, all the different things that kind of come to me. And when we start getting into your meditations, draw what you're seeing, draw or write it down. If you suck at drawing, you can't, I am going to try. That's okay. Write it down, though, right? And start, when you put pen to paper, it also starts creating more of a tangible reality of what our manifestations are, what we're trying to create, right? What we're trying to get to. And so all of it kind of comes back to, and then plus it becomes more real. Changing that mindset of what's real, all the different things that we're feeling and seeing during our meditations. And even if you're really struggling with your emotions, like just writing what it down feels and start placing identification. Because when we can identify the things that are coming in, the emotions, the circumstances, all of these things that we get, this information we're always getting, when we can start to break it down, we can start coming into where we're able to identify and say, oh, wow, I just got really angry because this person did whatever, right? And we start learning to sit with it, right? And then those emotions will start over time, have less and less power, to where it's like we get this wave of anxiety and you're like, whoa, okay, that felt however, right? And I just need to take a deep breath and yeah, this sucks, but I'm going to get through it. It's just emotions, just energy, right? And there's a lot of like mindfulness, which we'll get into in another time, but like a lot of the ways I manage my chronic pain too comes down to where we are actually creating, right? That beautiful Hawaiian healing practice, the Ho'oponopono, where you're creating the healing in your mind and creating, literally changing the frequencies in the environment so that what you're manifesting becomes real. And it's seriously so much like the Matrix, like how it's just the different densities, different densities in the dimensions. Oh my gosh, say that 5 times fast. the different densities, right? And so how they interact, what we're actually able to see. Has anyone ever seen like warbles in time? I have, especially when I was doing cleansing. That's where I learned a lot about the different dimensions. Like I had someone talking about, oh, well, I don't want to go back to a dense 3D dimension by cleansing to deal with spiritual warfare. And from my experience, we have to step back into that 3D density to cleanse what is in that density. Because if they're not in the higher vibrations, the higher densities, because from what I've understood so far, is that the demons, the dark entities, the negative spirits, that's why they can't open up the heavenly gates. That's why there's this sex magic with the that stuff that is, thank Jesus, it is being cleaned out, but it's just this really dark entities, the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, right? They couldn't access the heavenly portals, right, to access Jesus's throne, and without the sex magic and stuff like that, because their frequencies, their core base frequencies, can't get that high, right? And so dealing with a lot of that demonic stuff, you do got, from my experience in this, I mean, I'm always still trying to learn. What I know today may not, not be anything what I'm learning tomorrow to be true. There's so many things that are coming into this world that is just like these generational conceptions and understandings of the world are just being shattered. And that's how we have to be able to expand our consciousness to be able to accept the things that actually are really happening, and so long as we stay in that 3D dense mindset, we're never going to be able to access these things. We're never going to be able to step into these divine powers, because our hurt and our fear and our pain and our hang-ups are densities that are causing a density so much that we're not really able to step into our Christ vibration, Christ frequency, Christ called divine things that we were all created uniquely. Nobody should be the same unless you got like identical twins, which then they're their own unique thing. And none of us should be the same. We are all uniquely created and we all have a divine purpose. So if you're comparing your journey to anyone else or vice versa, y'all, everyone is unique. That is the only thing that is the same, is that we're not the same. None of us are, right? And so when we, where people at in their journeys is where they're at, and just continue to be that light, continue to be that vibration and tapping into it. And the first thing we got to do, though, is identify the emotions, and as the energies come to us, being able to say, oh, I'm feeling this, because then you know how to combat it. You can start meditating and start tapping into different things and vibrations and start healing ourselves. Start healing ourselves when these frequencies come to, and that's how we start dissipating it. That's a lot, and I get it. That's why we're doing bite-sized pieces, because it is a lot and it is hard to absorb, especially if you're really struggling right now. There are so many people. I pray and I feel the hurt and the heartache, and I see people, like I get visions of people who are hurting, and y'all, I mean, I'll be down on my knees praying just like over those people, just that light, that love, that healing that people desperately need right now, so just try to be patient with each other, y'all. Try to give each other grace. Try to start stepping into that Christ vibration where you guys are. I'm reading you guys' chats as I'm going through. You guys are amazing. I love it. And getting into that frequency as often as possible, because we'll start being, the thing is like our cellular energy, right? Our beings, when we start vibrating at certain frequencies, that becomes our homeostasis. So when we're vibrating at a higher frequency on a more consistent basis, that becomes our homeostasis. Trying to get into that divine frequency, that God frequency, that Christ frequency, to fulfill our missions and to fulfill what we came here to do in the highest vibration for all good, right? Ourselves and everyone else we touch. That's how we do this. Like, that is the end goal, and it's so amazing. So first, identify our emotions as we go throughout this week, and I will hit back with y'all later.